Agenda West Chapter.
Welcome to another episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. Sonny is here.
I sure am. I don't know why I grabbed that like that. Hello.
I don't
What's
know
going
either.
on?
Wow. Okay, out of the hot dog region, Paul is here.
What it do, baby?
And joining us, he's not in the bungalow this week. He's at the table. It's not an entanglement. The variant is here.
What?
He's a real boy.
Business class.
Business class, indeed.
With the Jesus hair.
Thank you.
It looks so good, dude.
Hair's looking good. I wish I had that hair.
Same.
Yeah, that's great.
I bet you do.
What's going on today, boys? How we
Listen,
doing?
since last week, we all threatened to do it, but none of us really did it, except for one of us sitting here at the table.
We all threatened to do it.
Don't threaten me with a mediocre time. Sonny, what did you...
Probably generous.
Sonny went this week. You went with Mom, right? You went with Mom to see Morbius.
Really not good.
Sounds like Sonny doesn't like his mom very much.
My mom's lovely.
Okay.
My mom's
good.
amazing.
Good.
What
mom's
did
amazing.
Mom think about the movie?
I think seeing her reaction over anything cool is fun. You know, CGI, you see fights and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
She's like, oh, it was a good movie. I went into it thinking this has got 18%, 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's 15 or 18.
It might be a little lower now. That was a really not good movie. And
Okay.
I asked earlier if Quan could just bleep out everything that I'm saying because it would
To make it sound like...
I was trashing it pretty bad.
Yeah.
The part that messed me up the most was that Spider-Man scene or him walking by that poster where it says murderer on it wasn't in the movie.
Right.
The director, Daniel Espinosa, I think he said he was like, I don't know why that was ever even in
Right.
the trailer.
But still, why would you even let that happen? I don't know. It was very confusing. And at the end, where you get the whole spell of what Doctor Strange did, it's very confusing on what Sony was trying to do by making Vulture come into this universe from the MCU, and now he's going to be a part of this. Spoiler alert, the end credits were basically him and Morbius saying, like, oh, we don't like Spider-Man together, like, let's team up. And, like,
So
where did you even meet this dude?
I was going to say, why does Morbius not like Spider-Man?
Right, he was like, interesting. And like they team up.
But didn't everybody's mind get wiped? Or maybe when they shot that scene, it was 4 years ago when they were filming Morbius.
Whatever. The
And
cool
they
thing
didn't know that
was
there's going to be the ending. It was in No Way Home.
Vulture had a different helmet, so his it had more of like a beak-esque kind of look, so it kind of looks more vulture-y, I guess. You
Nice.
know, one would say.
I'm glad they fixed it in this movie.
Yeah, dude. It's not so much of like a a jet fighter helmet that he like modded. It's actually like it looks like a vulture.
Is that? Do we like that? Is that?
I
better?
think it looks cooler
Oh, okay.
in looks. That movie sucked, dude.
Wow.
Let us know what you really thought.
Yeah.
Sonny.
You know, if anybody else saw it in the comments that likes it, tell me why, and then we'll go back and forth about it.
Marcel and Shari went to see it Thursday
They show
night.
did.
Like, kind of like in honor of like when we go see the movies
Right,
Thursday
right,
night. They
right.
went and saw it. They actually invited us to go with them, and none of us did. But
We
they,
had
they saw
other.
they actually
we had
enjoyed it.
entanglements.
Yeah, we didn't. We were entangled.
Okay,
We're entangled in some tacos.
that's fact.
We had a taco party last week.
That's fact. That's
Yeah.
every week though.
But you're
Oh, there it is.
you mentioned
That movie was, and I just didn't like
I
it.
think you have to open your mouth when the beep noise happens.
You know, and it sucked.
perfect.
Yeah,
No,
open your mouth.
No. Seriously though, to put Jared Leto in this movie, and now he is a part of, if not the worst Marvel movie and one of the worst DC movies. What does that say?
I have a question for you, sir. Is it worse than the Fantastic Four 2014 or 15, whatever?
Yeah, 20.
That's the one with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Because
that movie
was really bad.
is terrible.
I would
Did
say
you see that?
I would say they're probably the same, and I like the
same.
Fantastic Four more than Morbius. So
All
I'm
right,
like,
so you had you got to see. I feel like that could lend to people liking it less though, because it's characters you actually care about,
yeah,
and it sucks.
yeah. Morbius was bad, dude.
Isn't there like a
Wow.
there's like a built-in sort of like I don't say terms and conditions, but the thing about you being a fan of some certain characters,
Yeah.
you're kind of pulling for Fantastic Four to be good.
Right, same like Green Lantern.
They're bashing Morbius for weeks, months, whatever. You're going into this, and you knew you didn't have a real high expectation.
right.
You said spoiler alert. I don't think you're spoiling anything for anyone because
No
no
one
one's
cares.
no one's caring. Nobody-
And I've
who's gonna
seen
watch
the
this?
best memes of like people in like the movie theaters, and they're like, "Oh, I put the flash on accident," and there's like one other person sitting in the movie theater. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
It didn't do good for Sony, and if they are gonna be doing this whole team up or trying to do that, I think that this is like the L that they have to take. This is the loss. They didn't do that one.
Do you think it's important that they incorporate that Sony? I'm saying that before they make more of these villain-based properties for Sony, is it important that they establish who their Spider-Man is, or does it matter to you?
I don't care about the Spider-Man if they want to do the villain. You know, they can just kind of do the villain. But if I will see Morbius. I will eventually.
Same.
When
Yeah, we're gonna
they're-
watch it eventually.
When I really just need to go
whatever.
eat some popcorn and want to get away from the world. That's when I'll
When
see
you
Morbius.
really need a popcorn
When I really
fix.
need a popcorn. I'm gonna see Sonic 2 before I see Morbius.
100%.
But I'm also really
Yeah.
excited for that movie, even
I-
though it already came out.
I'm more excited for Sonic 2 than I am for Morbius. I will watch that first. But first,
I never even watched the
What's
first Sonic movie,
excited
and
to
I'm more
Sonic
excited for
tonight.
Sonic 2 than Morbius.
Yeah.
Sonic comes out tonight.
I've heard it was. I've
It-
heard the first
oh,
one is very
it-
good.
Sonic 2 comes out
It
today.
comes out tonight. Oh,
Tonight.
it didn't come out yet. Okay, good.
I heard
We'll
they're
go see it.
teasing another character because there's going to be another Sonic open world game coming out pretty
Okay.
soon.
Mhm.
So I
Kang the
know that,
Conqueror.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh.
wish. I think it's going to be Shadow.
That'd
If
be cool.
anybody's like
I wanted to be
familiar with
Mephisto.
that,
Who's the
I
one in
hope
this
so.
new one?
He's the edgy
Knuckles
one.
or whatever?
Knuckles.
Yeah, okay.
It's Idris
Elba.
Elbow.
Idris Elbow.
And
Idris
then
Elbow.
Miles
It's
per hour,
Eat your
also
elbow.
known as Tails.
Okay, so who?
That's his name. There you
So
go.
who? Other than the best actor ever, Antonio Banderas, who do you think should voice the next Sonic?
Who
I don't
should
know.
voice it? Oh,
A Shadow.
gosh,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Josh
I
Gad.
don't know.
Oh wow.
Not Josh Gad. Oh, please not Josh Gad. Oh, I do not like that guy.
You don't like Olaf?
I do not
Channing
like Olaf.
Tatum.
Frozen's one of my favorite Disney movies, but I despise Olaf.
I've never seen Frozen.
Yeah.
You've
You've
never seen Frozen?
Never seen
bro?
Frozen, dude.
I think you
have
should
to.
watch Frozen. It's
Oh,
cute.
so
It's
much
fun.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I've
do
never
you got
seen
against Snow?
Yeah.
She's like Iceman, but like,
I thought
know,
she was going to
with
be joining the
layers.
Avengers when they got to the end of that first one.
yeah.
Quan needs to turn his mic on.
It's not. We're picking up sound. Guys,
No, I said he needs to turn it on.
something I know that we all saw in the last couple of days that we actually enjoyed was the second episode of Moon Knight. It seems like this seems like the pace has picked up a little bit as far as this series
Show
is
did.
concerned. What did you guys think of episode 2?
Really good.
So all right. Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, snaps.
I
Here we
liked
go.
it.
Uh-oh.
I think it is good. I think the way they are building these characters and giving them their own identities and making Stephen Grant feel like an individual from Mark Spector, even though they're technically not. I have really enjoyed that. I think Khonshu is very funny, like when they're just standing there talking to each other, or when Stephen Grant's standing there talking to Ethan Hawke's character, and he's just like, kill him! And I think that's funny, and it works. I don't know what it is about it that hasn't quite got me yet. I'm not like, ooh, man, I can't wait for Tuesday night. I forgot 2 weeks in a row that it was coming out at midnight. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, crap, I got to watch this. I watched it and I'm like, oh, that was good.
That was good, yeah.
But I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is that hasn't like got me completely locked in yet. But it is good. And I really, really like this character of Stephen Grant. And I think it is a strong point of the show that I can delineate Stephen Grant as a different character from Mark Spector.
Oh, vastly different.
Even though they are the same actor and technically the same character.
Same person, yeah. They're definitely different.
I really, really enjoy that they've done a good job of making these two seem like separate people. And it also seemed kind of tragic when Stephen Grant, who's someone who's clearly struggles with women and is like trying to find some happiness in his life, is talking to someone who is kind of his wife, who is claiming to be his wife. And he's just like, wait, we're getting a divorce? And he's like, I would never let you go.
Right.
And then, like, what the heck? Like, kind of like an indictment on Mark. And Mark is obviously
Right,
listening.
right
and
there.
he's like, dang. But
Yeah.
I think it's really good. And I'm just waiting for whatever to happen to, I don't know what it is. Maybe
Something's going to pop off.
And, but I am really enjoying it.
Dude, we were sitting in the parking lot earlier, and you made the coolest point about, so everybody knows that we've gotten Stephen Grant, we've got, Spectre rolling around, but there might be a third person out there. And in the comics, we figured out his name. We were saying all kind of different names. It's Jake, right?
Jake
Right.
Lockley.
It's Jake. He is possibly who we might have been seeing, or in the shadows, making the date plans.
And we don't know, the day plans, because in the first episode,
This is so cool.
the girl comes up to him and is like, hey, are we still on? And he doesn't know, right? And as far as we know who Mark Spector is, he still has like feelings for Layla,
Right.
his current wife.
Right.
So we know of two individuals that didn't either know the date was happening and or wouldn't want the date. So there has to be a third person, more of like a ladies' man persona, that set up this date for him.
Yeah, because Mark Spector's like military dude. I got to get the mission done. I'm
kinda
not
brooding.
worried about the lady. My wife's leaving me. He's not like trying to set up a steak dinner.
A mercenary Indiana Jones guy.
Right.
Yeah. So there's got to be a third personality, which might be what this third episode is going to be. Is like Steven is in the background. The glass has been shattered at the end of this episode, and Steven's watching, but there's another personality that's kind of like pushing Mark out. So then at the end of the next episode, it's Jake who's the dominant personality, and Mark's like, no, I can't deal with two of you now. Like, stop. Trying to like. Also, like Mark saying the wall, or I don't know what's changed, but the wall has been like severed, or I haven't always been able to be in control. So it looks like that maybe some of the personalities didn't know about each other like at all, and then there's something that's bridging all of them together so that they can all interact or be aware of what's happening. And it does correlate a little
Sick,
bit
right?
with like the lunar cycle. So this is a cool thing.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Last week we had a waning crescent, whatever crescent that is growing, and this week it's now a waxing crescent. So the moon phases in like our world setting
Are matching up with that.
with the show.
That's cool. That's
so
fun.
Moon
That's
Knight's
cool,
and
right?
Moon Knight's powers they grow, and once he's full moon,
He's the strongest.
He's the
At his
strongest,
strongest.
and he's like he's
a
the
beast.
unit. He's a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah.
That's when in the comics, like
He's a unit.
he's a unit. It's
Just
my
like
favorite
your
word.
pop.
Yeah, just like my pop.
No,
where-
seriously, he takes out like a lot of fools that you
just-
do not think. Yeah, he flexed a little bit. You saw
I think
that?
he just complimented himself a little bit. That was like really wild.
No, that was my other personality.
Oh,
Pop,
excuse me.
Pops is Frank's other personality.
So I think just like going off the show, it for the shows that we've had, it is the most realistic, at least to me, of like a character who like has superpowers or been given something that has like these issues of coming to terms like what it means. Because even though Spectre is like the dominant personality, or not the dominant, but one of the personalities, or
Right.
who he actually is. Like in the comics, it's Mark Spector, and then the other personalities, split off of Spectre
Right.
because of, Khonshu messing with his brain.
Right.
Like, we see this guy who's like, all I need to do is this job and get rid of this so I can be with my wife.
Right.
And everything will be normal. I'm getting rid of this. And we haven't had a lot of characters, at least in the MCU, that just don't want what's been given to them.
Right.
More so like the
They're
mantle.
all very like, thank you.
Like they take it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's really interesting. And to me, the show, it's probably going to be my favorite show because, I mean, the first episode, I was freaking out. Like every instance, I'm like, this is just so cool.
Nice.
How he's like actually going insane.
Yeah.
And in this episode, they're showing like the security guard, like he's like hiding behind things
He's
when the
like-
jackal is following him, but
Yeah.
you can't
Right.
see the jackal. I think that's really neat. And I think the thing that might be, Paul, what you're missing, or some people might be missing, is that this show is a normal guy who's being told that you're a superhero or is being told what you're supposed to do versus other people redefining themselves.
Right.
And it's new. It's new
You know
and engaging.
what? You know what I think it is?
Mm.
And I thought about it when you mentioned the jackal. I think the thing that has been kind of like the least interesting part to me and that I haven't really been able to hold on to, and I'm not holding it against the show because it's the second episode and they don't want to like blow everything in the first two episodes. I haven't been particularly invested in the action scenes, and I don't think they have been particularly interesting because I don't think the jackal, I don't find it to be that interesting, and I don't find the combat with it that interesting. I think the idea behind it that he's the only one that can see it is very cool, but I haven't been that engaged by those fight scenes. The fight scene in the first episode with the logs falling all over the place, I loved that. And
Yeah.
him taking over and then him just coming back to and saying, oh crap, I took care of this somehow.
Right.
That was my favorite
That's
action
fair,
scene
yeah.
of the show so far. And I think that's it. I think listening to you talk about it, I think that's the only part of the show that's made me go, meh, so far as those action scenes in particular with the jackal. I'm just kind of like, I haven't found them particularly interesting. But other than that, everything you're saying about Mark and Steven, I agree with 100%.
Yeah,
And the
point
way
on,
he's a
yeah.
character that this has been thrust upon him, and he's like, I don't want to do this, but I kind of have
Right,
to.
Right.
Steven's like, what is going on? Mark is like, he's gonna take over my wife if I don't.
Right.
If I don't.
Right.
And,
And
that's
And I think there's stuff with that. I'm still kind of hoping that they evolve the character a little bit more, that Ethan Hawke is playing the Dr. Arrow.
Arthur Harrow.
Arthur
yeah,
Harrow.
yeah.
He's so cool.
And I think that MCU, we're getting to that point where they can like either retcon or start merging characters. But it would
Oh,
be,
for
I
sure.
think it would be interesting because how he says, I was once Khonshu's chosen,
Yeah.
and now I'm
He was
following.
the fist of what?
Vengeance?
Vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it could be interesting if they just decide to do like a weird personality thing or something with him as well, that he at some point could have been his brother. That could have been Mark's brother's. Mark's brother's the one who becomes, or is Shadow Knight,
Mhm.
right? The other one. So I think that there's something with that. If they would want to keep him separate, that's fine. But I think it could be cool if the MCU starts deciding like, hey, we have so many characters that only appear in like one book.
Right.
It'd be cool if we start like merging them. That way you care or more invested with them faster.
Completely
You know?
expanding
Good call.
on this character though, Sonny, is that Arthur Harrow is a one and done type of character in the Moon Knight series,
Right.
and he's a Nazi doctor or scientist
Right.
in his storyline originally. In them turning him into a David Koresh cult following
Super
type
cool
of thing.
idea.
It's a really cool twist, and they gave Ethan Hawke a lot of
Freedom.
That's
to
what I
sort
was
of
gonna
develop
mention.
the
Glass
character.
thing.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to mention. They were like, okay, what do you think this character would be? How do you think his
I like that.
actions?
I love that.
What do we think his motives would be? And we were talking first episode when you see him put the glass on
His
in
idea.
his shoes. That was his idea.
Yep.
And going back, you said the coolest thing about what was it? Priests back in.
Yeah, there's like an Egyptian like subset like religion that's like part of like the priests is they
Yeah.
put the glass in their sandals so that their blood can mix with the sand and
So
then
they're
they
like
can be
more
more
with-
one
with you know
their surroundings.
that. I think that's one of the more badass things I've seen.
It's really
A
cool.
bleep.
Yeah.
I
And
think
you know-
it's super cool.
kind of getting chat involved a little bit. All in the Game's been super active. He mentions that it's weird that the only heroic character in all, and I don't think there's anything really behind this. I just think it's an interesting like observation. The only character that's a heroic character that's color is purple is Black Panther. Purple otherwise has been almost
Dark.
just associated with villains
Yeah.
like Thanos and the
Agatha,
Gem, Agatha, and now
Dormammu.
I can't remember. I
Mhm.
always call him Ethan Hawke because I never remember the character's name. And I really like when he's on screen. I think he's like captivating, but I
Yeah.
just can't remember. It's Harrow.
Harrow.
Arthur Harrow.
Arthur Harrow.
His the Amit, the color that
Yeah, it's
is
purple.
I
Yeah.
think that's interesting and a good catch by All in the Game. But I think the villain in this and the reason they used him and did what they're doing with him is because I watched shout out Mr. Sunday Movies. His content's always the best. He was talking about how I can't remember the character's name. His like Bone something. He's like Moon Knight's like main like villain. He's his like arch nemesis or whatever. I can't remember the character's name. Wish I could. But yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I think that was it.
Oh yeah,
And they decided not
Bone
to
Crusher.
use him.
He was Busy Bone.
They decided not to use him because he's like he's very similar to Eric Killmonger, and they
Right.
didn't want to
Okay.
seem like they were doing the same thing again. So
Yeah.
they decided, hey, let's take an existing character, but kind of try to make him our own and do our own stuff with him. And I think it's worked so far. I think Arthur
Dude,
Harrow is captivating in his pursuit of whatever he wants to do. Not dissimilar from Thanos in the way he's like, for me, killing a kid would be worth it. Just like Thanos is like, for me, destroying half the universe would be worth it. And it's weird now that I said it out loud. Killing a kid, like one kid, seems so much worse than killing half the universe, but it's not because you're killing kids. But it seems so much more direct.
Right.
Right.
No, we were talking about it earlier.
Bushman. Thank you all
That's
in the
it,
game.
Bushman.
Bushman.
Yeah.
Marvel has done an amazing job at making these villains, dude.
Yeah.
Grounded. I mean, we're talking about Thanos being a space alien killing, billions of people, or we were talking about Kilgrave, or we were talking about this Arrow dude, super grounded but like creepy and like believable, and like you can see some guy being super obsessed with this. And also, I've always been super obsessed with everything like Egyptian mythology and all that kind of stuff. So when I was already caught, when I saw Jackals, I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, see,
Although
I
it's
don't have
like
that. I don't have that kind of.
right,
I do too. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
just
super cool. You
And
know what I mean?
that might be it. I don't have that attachment to Egyptian mythology. Like
Right.
if it was Greek or even Norse, I would be like, it wouldn't matter what it was. I'd be like, oh, that's fine.
See, and that's funny that you say that, because going into like video game life, Assassin's Creed for me, Origins was my favorite. It was the Egyptian one, but the Greek one, Odyssey, wasn't really that tight to me, and then this Norse one to me, Valhalla. What happened?
Cam kind of.
That was awesome,
What I was
Cam.
talking about is the trolley dilemma. Basically, it's like kill one kid, like murder one kid, or like be. That's kind of what that's called, the trolley
Right.
dilemma. Like which one is worse?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, not to
On
sorry
the
to
game.
interrupt.
No. I'm just saying, back to the core though, Marvel does an amazing job
Yeah.
at villains.
And kind of small tangent. You're talking about with games.
Yeah.
We're talking about how much you guys love the Egyptian mythology. You're gonna get that after this second God of War game. The next two after that are going to be Egyptian.
No
right.
way.
Yeah, because he goes. Yeah.
He's going to go to the Egyptian mythology and
Yeah.
Pantheon
After
that.
Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Yeah, after
No
Ragnarok.
way. Where's
Yeah.
that on? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Well, that's like in the game.
Well, I know. I
In
remember
the
when he's
game, they
looking
show,
at
like,
the
the
tablet.
Pantheon. Yeah.
And you see like was it like it was some what was it, a hieroglyph or something that he sees Tyr went to or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
So they're
I didn't know
going to do that after this set of games. Sorry, not to get too far
stoked.
off the main point, but I agree. Especially since Phase 1 and
So
2, the Marvel has slowly but surely they heard the complaints, and that's one thing they did really well is they listened to the fans, but not too much. They said, okay, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, but we are hearing the complaint that our villains are all the same.
Constructive criticism.
And they've slowly but surely, their villains have had more depth, especially in Phase 3 and now going into Phase 4. So some of the things we remember the most, like Thanos, Nebula, villains like that.
Nebula's dope.
And they're all, and Loki especially. Loki is one that seems like kind of like a
Yeah.
one-dimensional villain in the first one, but as the movies have gone on, he's maybe like wouldn't be surprised if you asked someone who's your favorite character in the MCU,
probably
and someone would say
Loki.
Loki.
Loki?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy. I
Yeah.
mean, he's carrying the shows for sure. When Moon Knight's done, I'll revisit that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
To see what my favorite show was. But easy, I think we could probably go around the room. Loki destroyed all of those shows.
Yeah, and not because they were bad, but because there was just so much.
There was just
it
so
good.
much in Loki. Are
Yeah.
you questioning?
My favorite is WandaVision, but I think
Really?
Loki. But I think
Wow.
Loki is the best show.
But is your favorite
My favorite
WandaVision
is
now, though, because of everything that's happened and you can see that? Because in the bigger picture, WandaVision it's a dope show.
Yeah.
But when it came out, it wasn't that captivating. And
I
I was
think
like, it's kind
interesting.
of, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think my two favorite are definitely Loki and Hawkeye. I really enjoyed
Hawkeye
it.
now, I mean, because I think it kind of caught people off guard.
It did, because I was not stoked for it.
Respect,
I was not stoked.
it
And
just-
afterwards, I was like, I like
it for different reasons than I like Loki. I like Loki because it was intriguing. It had a bunch of intrigue. It was fun. It was kind of bombastic in a way that some of the other shows haven't been.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was really weird.
Definitely
and I love that.
very weird.
Hawkeye was so, and it had Loki, had like a huge effect on the rest of the universe. Hawkeye doesn't. It's just a good story about a guy who's trying to do the right thing, but also
And
wants to get back
it's a
to his
passing
family
of the
on
guard.
Christmas.
See,
type of thing.
that's
I love
why
it.
for my two, one super out there, Loki, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And that's close top three for
because
me, yeah.
it was very grounded. And then towards the culmination of this series, you see like this new Captain America. You see Bucky getting into his own character. It turned into so much more than what I thought it was going to be.
That's
you know what I
good.
mean? And so for me, two polar opposite spectrums, Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier would be mine.
I think Loki is probably the best series.
Yeah.
Just the one that I think I enjoyed the most overall.
Right.
My favorite was WandaVision.
Ah, that's cool. That's
Just-
really cool.
Just cause.
That's cool.
Just
I
'cause.
think after we see Multiverse of Madness and then like, actually I might rewatch WandaVision before that comes out just to
Or
get a
what-
little.
You said
or
you
some
did
of the-
rewatch WandaVision recently,
Yeah.
right? And it probably, because I remember when it was coming out, we had all these expectations we wanted to
Oh
have
my
been met.
God.
And watching it the second time was probably devoid of that, so we were able to
Yeah.
enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I get that.
And their dynamic is really cool. And just the fact that she's trying to hold it all together and eventually it just doesn't. It don't work out.
It do not be working out.
You're trying so hard to control everything and it just doesn't
I mean,
work.
that's life.
That
do
is
be.
life.
It do
That
be.
is
Yeah.
life.
Doesn't even
Speaking of Wanda, in about a month, we got
so
all of our
crazy.
tickets
I know.
yesterday. We're going with about 20 of our closest friends. We're going to see Doctor
Per
Strange,
usual,
the
you know how we do.
Multiverse of Madness. They released a new teaser trailer. It's right about a minute long, I think. We're going to take a look at this new teaser.
This one's really
for
cool though.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Still strange, or is it still strange? Is that
Still
what it's called?
strangin'.
Still strangin'.
Still stranger.
I for some reason didn't
Yeah,
even
mama.
realize it was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought it
Ooh.
was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Nah, he in that.
He up in that thing.
Almost. You almost needed to use that bleep.
Dreaming
I like the music choice.
every night.
I haven't watched this yet.
The same dream.
Wig.
Every morning, the same
Yeah, player.
nightmare.
She got the serious Russian accent.
The fate of the multiverse
That would have been a cool name for this.
Look, you see?
depends on
But
us.
there's another one in the corner there.
I didn't even see what it was.
Careful, Stevens.
That's dope. We've
This
seen it.
path
But still dope.
exacts a heavy toll.
Mordo.
Look.
Okay.
Dope.
Marvel Studios, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Only Disney 6 as it gets on sale now.
I dig it.
I'm gonna be real 100%. I did not need that trailer. Like we were talking about.
Same.
There's chill out. I would have liked to see the third eye open in the theater.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have liked to kind of, but that's a lot to take in. I think that
Sounds
this
cool.
movie's with the reshoots. I think with the reshoots,
What the?
after all of the Spider-Man craziness, they must have added a lot of cool stuff in this.
Yeah.
You know,
It was originally going to be out in February or March or something.
It was.
and then they
believe
Wasn't
pushed
it
so.
the
it
same
March, I
back.
believe. It was supposed to
Wasn't
be-
it supposed to be the same day as the Batman at one point?
I think it was the week before, the week after. I think.
Which is
That'd have
probably a
been-
good
that'd
thing
have
they
been
moved that
interesting.
because I think the Batman might have actually beat it.
really? I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think that one.
I do.
Anybody in the chat, if you guys think if they dropped,
I would have gone to see Batman before I went and saw that. 100%.
okay, everybody, please make that vote because that's a really interesting thing. If Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the Batman came out same day, which one are you going to see first?
All
That's
in the
crazy.
Game was there in the chat and mentioned that the runtime for this movie
asking
is just over 2 hours.
That's kind of
That's a-
wild.
That's a lot to pack in.
That's a lot to pack in a few hours. Like, what are they going to do about this? Is there going to be a part 2?
Oh.
Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't want to be so hyped.
No.
I
Well,
don't want
they
this
could be
movie to
going-
be this culmination of like things going everywhere, but then it's like, wait for
It could
part
be
two.
turned
I
into
think- I
something
think-
else
I think when
because
the
she got
movie-
her she had an extension with Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. So if
So-
there's a part 2 of it continuing on to her thing, I think that this movie's just gonna pop off from like the
Start to
beginning
finish?
to finish.
Mad Max,
Yeah,
Fury Road
like
style?
let's just go, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
really okay with that
I'm
because
okay
if you
with
do
that.
if you do the pacing and there's like
Breakneck,
a little
I like
lull,
that.
nah, dude, like just boom, we wake up. Doctor Strange, his other version gets killed. He wakes up like it's boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
which would be tight.
I would be with that.
I really, and that's how you got to play this 2-hour movie with. You're literally talking about the multiverse of madness. How are you going to pack all this in 2 hours?
You're
you got to
introducing
play it
new
out.
characters, Sonny. You're introducing new
Bunch.
characters. You're introducing new
New
versions
timelines,
of
new
existing
Yes,
characters,
dude.
and you have a lot of moving
There's
parts.
going to be a lot
in
of
2 hours.
wows, like wow sequences where you're like, this really happened.
runtime makes me think they're gonna lean because I was kind of talking about. I wonder how essential some of these TV shows are gonna be. The shorter runtime makes me think they're gonna lean heavily into people having had watched these.
Yes.
because they're not
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
try to
'Cause they're
develop
not gonna-
where Wanda's
exactly.
at.
Yeah.
Why the what if thing is going
the
on?
whole
whatever
town.
happened.
No, if you didn't watch that, yeah, you're just gonna
Should
kind of
probably go
miss
watch
this.
it, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a bold take.
That
to-
is
to
a-
do.
You think that?
bold take, man.
So, I mean, I've rewatched
getting really hyped
WandaVision. I'm
off
probably
this.
not going to watch WandaVision again before the movie comes out, but maybe a couple of those what if episodes. Maybe go back and watch those. Not
Yeah,
the whole what if
because-
season. We watched that, but
at this
a
point,
couple episodes.
you're
Last two.
bringing in what if.
Yeah.
You're bringing in WandaVision. You might get a different version of whoever else. I mean, if there's like Anthony Mackie, Captain America in this, or there's all kind of different characters, like we were talking about, you might not. They might just breeze over the fact that all this stuff is happening and like watch what's going down. And I'm okay with that because I've been following up
I
and
think
I've
that's the
watched these a
move,
couple
probably.
times.
Well, it's kind of their equivalent of not having a. It's their version of not having an Avengers movie to be able to bring everything together.
Right.
You've had 5. Okay. Moon Knight ends 2 days before Doctor Strange comes out.
So cool.
So you have 5, 6 live action series or 5 series that have been on the Plus
Right.
that have ended that you could be tying up certain storylines
Yeah.
in this film.
100%.
Like you're saying, it's a 2-hour runtime, but it's going to be, I think it's going to, I agree with you, Sonny. I think it's going to be packed with lots
I don't
of
think there's going to be
stuff.
like too much lull, you know,
No.
like
No.
No.
there was a couple times in even Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, where I was like, okay, there's like downtime. And even though there was cool stuff like Matt Murdock popping up and all that kind of stuff, they made good choices at the downtime with not the action and things happening.
How long was Spider-Man?
2 hours,
Two and plus?
40 minutes.
Yeah. it
2
was-
hours, 40. Okay.
It was
So
long.
Because
Yeah.
that one moved pretty
I
quick.
think it was
too.
the longest of the movies.
No, Eternals was, I think.
Maybe.
Really?
Was I think
It
it was
felt the
Eternals.
longest.
Yeah.
It felt like the longest, but I don't know if Eternals was actually the longest.
Give it a googs. Give it a googs.
I'm going to Google it up.
Do not rewatch.
Please continue your conversation. while
No,
I
but
Google.
seriously, if you take out 40 minutes of, let's just say, Eternals, like whatever movie, you
Right.
know, but if you take out 40 minutes of No Way Home,
You're missing
you're
stuff.
missing stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
So, what? Okay, interesting question. Kind of along these lines. What character in this movie is not going to be in it? Where we go, why wasn't this character called upon? Why wasn't this character involved in this? You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's always that one
Why
character.
didn't the Eternals show up
Exactly.
in Endgame?
Why did they do that?
Exactly. You'll go, why didn't this happen? Do you think we're going to have those characters? type of
Actually,
characters?
Endgame is the longest running Marvel film.
Oh,
Eternals
okay.
is
It's
3
3
minutes. Eternals is 3 minutes shorter
Okay.
than No Way Home.
oh, that's close though.
Why did they do that?
But it felt like the longest.
I think hopefully, and this is what I'm saying. So if you spend even 20 minutes in this
Thank you all in the game.
hall of the Illuminati and they have all these characters and all that kind of stuff, I think if we miss someone in that lineup, someone's gonna have something to say.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of people, 6, 7, 8 seats maybe, not counting Charles because
We don't know.
he's-
Something could have been digitized
I
and
kinda
removed
forgot
the
all about
CG.
Right. So
Yeah.
it for me, if someone doesn't show up in that scene, I think that's what's gonna bother me the most. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, dude, like Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger version of Black Panther, Namor, you know what I mean? There's so many people where I'm like, should be at this council.
Reed Richards, whatever
Reed
it is.
Richards
whatever,
at this whichever one, Krasinski. If there's not these pivotal
Young
pivotal
It's
Pivotal.
completely pivotable.
pivotal
Continue.
pivotal characters, what what's going to happen for, people like, I guess, breaking the internet and everybody's going to be talking, because there's going to be a scene that all of them should be in one scene together,
Right.
which should be like plenty of the comic covers that we know of the Illuminati and all that kind
You
of
know, the
stuff.
thing that I love that I got the most of from this teaser is that I know that Doctor Strange, or at least some version of him, is going to throw down with some version of Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
And that is so dope.
Sick.
I love those two characters.
You know that was in the waiting. That's been
Mordo is an
waiting.
example of the villains we were just talking about that have been very well developed in these later phases. He's a guy who started as a good guy.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't really agree with the way we're using magic.
Right.
And I'm trying to eradicate it.
Right.
And then you go, you know what? You look at what has happened
Kinda
since he
right.
did that, and you
Yeah.
go, he might be right.
Man's is kind of right.
So he'll
Yeah.
be fighting Doctor Strange, and you'll be like, I want
But
Doctor Strange to
you might
win.
be
I
right.
think
Do
I think this is a different.
Yeah.
I think this is a different him though. I don't think that this is the one that we saw at the end of Doctor Strange. Maybe because he has extensions with the cornrows, and this might be a different man's. But I think that this might be like a Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I'd be with that.
Maybe. Okay.
Doctor Strange in his universe died. He took over the mantle, kind of thing.
As long as that this Mordo still
Interesting.
kind of has the same outlook, because I don't want a Mordo who's like agrees with Doctor Strange.
Right.
That's not interesting to
Right,
me. That
right, right,
removes
right.
the most interesting part of their dynamic to
Right.
me. But I want him to have that conflict of interests with Doctor Strange, and then be able to go kind of not just physically head to head, like philosophically. I think
Yeah.
that's would be one of the most interesting
Yeah.
things. Which is like what's one of the best parts from WandaVision. The talk that Vision has with himself. There's fun action scenes in that, but
Yeah.
the philosophy going back and forth there
Yeah,
is some of
Yeah,
the most
yeah,
interesting stuff.
for sure.
And I think that would have a huge impact on this movie and grounding it and making it accessible, even though it's like random
Did the
crazy
teaser
multiverse.
for you, real quick, just a one-word answer, or like one sentence answer.
okay.
Did the teaser for you change any type of theory that you may have for how this movie is going to play out? Variant.
No, but I didn't need it.
Okay.
I didn't need the teaser because I already had the buy-in. As soon as they said Doctor Strange, the first one is my third favorite Marvel movie.
Nice.
I love that.
It's up there.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
it's
And
up there.
Paul made all the great points because they had Mordo was actually a good villain, and
Super good.
but he's not the actual villain of the story. But you're like, I know what he
what
does.
he's doing.
I know what's
Yeah.
happening,
And you know
and
what?
It's so believable.
One of the most interesting parts about Doctor Strange is, for me, it's a big cosmic villain, but Doctor Strange doesn't throw down with him. He outsmarts him.
Yep.
And the way
Yeah.
he does it kind of makes Mordo go, I don't like all this. And everything, he's
Right.
like, you understand
Yeah.
why Strange did it. It was the only way he could have beat him. It was the only way they could do what they needed to do. But you can also see why Mordo is like, we are on a slippery slope with
Right.
you doing this.
Yeah.
And now
We're
we
slippering
see,
and sloping.
Now we see
Slow
where that
slopes.
slippery slope is at.
That's facts.
And that Doctor Strange is so good. It's good on its own, and it's also like Age of Ultron in that now looking back on it, it's even better.
Way
Right.
better.
And there was a lot of people at the time of the first Doctor Strange coming out. People didn't like it
There was a few people because
because
there was
because they were like,
because
well,
it wasn't the way they'd been making all the
yeah,
other
it was
way
completely different.
different.
It was like
It's different.
Inception, but like Marvel. And Benedict Cumberbatch, like he did a great job.
Amazing job.
But there's just so much of the movie is just no speaking. It's just things happening, like optical
Yeah.
illusions.
One of the
and, like,
complaints
crazy
I know
whatever.
of was
Yeah.
that the magic, the display of magic in most of the movie was just kind of like bright lights and like sparkly kind of stuff. And
Right.
it wasn't as visually interesting as people may have hoped, with
Yeah.
the exception of some parts where him like getting pushed to the universe. But since then, he's had the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak.
Yep.
He's done a bunch of other stuff like that. So we'll be able to see him display a bunch of more of those abilities in his own movie now.
So Sonny, we have our tickets. We thought that they, the way Marvel is very, they do everything with a plan in place.
Correct.
It seems.
Mr. Feige.
They're
is-
intentional with their movements.
Deliberate.
Okay,
Yeah. What you got?
they don't do nothing by accident.
Right.
Seems not.
So the movie's out. The
Yes.
movie is going to be out in less than a month. Tickets are out. It's breaking records for pre-sales. And,
It broke the record today.
Okay.
Biggest or before tickets to be sold or whatever. It broke whatever record you're talking about.
They
Broke it today.
did a little like production type of featurette for Marvel Studios for Ms. Marvel.
I like where you're going with this.
Okay. They're hyping up Moon Knight. We're starting to really get into the whole Moon Knight groove.
Absolutely.
The moon is setting in the third quadrant up in the sky, and we're getting our powers and whatever's happening. Okay?
Right.
But
Where's my Thor Love and Thunder trailer?
I think I have a theory as to why.
is this movie
Where
happening?
the heck is it?
Because we've got action figures, we've gotten all kind of there's Funko Pops. There's been all kind of debates all over the internet of what's happening after. Where's this movie? Where's this trailer?
I
at?
think that there's a reason because there's something in it that they can't show us.
What do you think it is?
My theory's different.
Ooh, please go around the room. You know, everybody out there knows I will pull the tinfoil hat out and talk
My
about all the
theory
craziness.
is much more simple. I think that Marvel, because they have the advent of television shows, not everything has to be a movie anymore. While they're promoting movies, all their movies have been like 4 to 6 months apart now, and I think in those 6 months they are promoting Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And then once Doctor Strange comes out, then they're promoting Thor Love and Thunder.
But at
It's the
that point,
second
though,
shortest window
that's
of a promotion, like a teaser trailer, any type of trailer that they've had. I don't mean to talk like hands like this. But they had the shortest window for like a teaser trailer being released. Paul and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago when they were still waiting for the Thor trailer to come out, that they had waited a certain amount of days for the No Way Home trailer to come out versus when the tickets went on sale and the movie was actually released.
Because we even had a discussion on here talking about that.
They're under that time frame now. It's even shorter.
Right.
Okay. I think Thor comes out in July.
I
I think it's
don't.
July 8th.
Okay,
Is it
so
the date?
when Multiverse of Madness drops and is out, when does Thor come out? How long do we have in that
Variant,
break?
what do you think, Win?
If it's July, then it's for 7
3
weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah. Something
So
like
July
do you-
8th.
So do you?
comes out.
So what you're saying is you think something's going to happen in Doctor Strange that they can't show us?
I think they'd be
Moving
going.
forward?
Paul had mentioned this, that, and I really wouldn't have a problem with it if they go this route. What if they just put the trailer as a post-credit
that's
scene?
what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like how they've been doing with.
And
the
we don't
Because
really
I
get
think that was a
post-credit scenes.
brilliant idea.
Do you think that Marvel needs to put a Thor and Love and Thunder
Absolutely
before
not.
Doctor Strange?
Absolutely
we
not.
want it, but do they need to?
Absolutely not. We're all
Before?
going to see it.
Yeah.
Well, we know one trailer that's going to be released the opening weekend, is Avatar 2.
Oh, really?
That's going to be attached to Doctor Strange.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
As far as I know, that's the only thing that we're getting for sure.
Awesome.
I love Avatar.
When did the first one come out?
I don't know, like 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
2000.
A
It came
long
out the
time
same
ago.
year that The Dark Knight came out, the first Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 47 years ago.
Yes. 47 years ago. Feels
I
like it.
imagine
To the day.
I imagine these movies
the day.
taking.
Sorry.
I imagine these movies taking a bajillion years to make. The CGI, I'm sure, in this one is going to be miles apart from the last one. Do we think that this Avatar is going to be big? What? I'm excited. Do we think that
We're giving Avatar theories.
do we think that this is going to be bigger than the Marvel stuff that we've seen? Because the last time that they pulled this out, none of this was going on.
That's difficult.
So, and it was on the throne for the
Okay.
longest time.
That's really ambitious.
I think Avatar is
to-
still the
for-
highest selling movie of all time. They jumped past Endgame again when
Did
they
they?
did a re-release.
Oh, because they did the
International,
release.
yeah.
That was annoying.
Not
That doesn't count.
domestic. I mean, it does though.
Where's Morbius in the
In the hierarchy,
Probably second or third.
like 10th?
But I think this Avatar 2 movie is
it's
like
got to be
the
crazy.
Schrodinger's cat of movies.
Oh, sure.
Is it alive? Is it dead? You don't know until it comes out the box. I don't think there's any way that we're going to know if this movie is going to explode until it comes out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Avatar
Like,
came out in 2009.
yeah.
Woo!
And I just like, I really have no beat on this. I'm like, do I want to see it? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it.
I'll absolutely go see it. And I think it's probably going to be
I
a
wanna watch
stunning,
it.
visually stunning movie. But is the story compelling enough to hold up with what they did last time and what we
Well, the
already
thing
have on the
is,
table?
like
Is it gonna
that
hold up
original
against movies that
story-
come out this year?
Right.
The original Avatar, I don't feel it's a good story. It's not the most compelling thing you've ever seen.
No, dude, it's really not.
You watch it because of the effects.
The spectacle, yeah.
And you watch like
It's a
oh,
gorgeous
they did
looking
that.
movie. It's
And
a
10-foot
gorgeous
blue
looking movie.
people.
And
Yeah, dude.
in
People.
2009,
Terrifying.
how many movies were we getting that were like big CGI, incredible looking spectacles? Not that many.
Not a lot.
In
no.
2022, How many movies do we get that are that?
We get Disney
Every
Plus
other
shows.
month.
Just
that-
every one.
Exactly.
You know what
So
I mean?
I'm like,
Right. Do this.
I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. Most people I talk to want to see it, but then it's like it's not as unique and niche as it used to be.
No,
That's
because
fair.
the Lord of the Rings show that's going to be coming out is going to be huge. It's going to be
Crazy.
incredible.
It's gonna knock your proverbial socks off.
We don't.
Whoa, language.
True that.
Beep.
We haven't gotten. We didn't get shows like that back then.
Just
So
trying to beep.
this, of course, would be back in the day. This would be like monumentous. This
Right.
is crazy.
Yeah.
But now, like literally, we get our TV shows that are $10 million to shoot. You know what I mean? So I think in the time,
What's the budget for
the Lord of the Rings?
the Lord of the Rings series?
Something
It's
bananas.
like half $1 billion.
I think it's
something?
I think it's $10 million an episode, not including what they're paying the actors. It shot over Game of Thrones by a long shot.
Yeah,
I
it's
think the first episode
We get the Game of
is like
Thrones prequel series this year too.
super cool.
The dragon,
can wait.
something or
Dance of
other.
the Dragons
It's called the Dragon Blast.
sounds like a.
Dragon Tales.
It's called Dragon
DuckTales.
Tales.
What?
That's what happens after you eat Taco Bell.
This is like the game of telephone.
No, real talk though.
Real talk.
Going back to it though, I don't think that this movie will do the numbers that the first one did,
I don't either.
just because of like the competition nowadays.
If you're basing it on like a ticket sales and expectation for the revenue that's been made off of just Marvel films, Harry Potter films,
Yeah, dude.
whatever series of movies, the Fast films. I'm not saying the Fast is. Please don't get crazy. Okay.
One of
go
the
there.
best franchises.
Yeah, it's all about family, but
They have a ride at Universal Studios. Okay, so
Yeah.
they did it.
this movie has got to kill
Is that what that
in the
means?
box office.
Jurassic Park.
It comes
Right.
out in December, I think. Avatar 2.
Okay.
It comes out like it's the holiday movie.
It
It'd
was
be-
the speculative date for Aquaman 2.
and then
They had
Oh,
shared
yeah,
the same
yeah, yeah,
date.
yeah. And now Aquaman is next year.
yeah.
I was literally gonna ask. I was like, did
But to be
Aquaman
honest
2
with
come
you-
out or is it?
The what's it called? Splish Splash.
I'm taking a bath. What?
Bubble Bath.
Sardines
It's called
Revenge.
Bubble Boy.
Aquaman 2 Bubble Bath.
The Ocean Warrior.
The Kingdom of Hearts.
It's
Shout
called
out
The
Disney.
Lost Kingdom. Isn't it? That's
No,
called?
that's Jurassic Park.
No,
Lost
that's
Kingdom?
Lost World.
Nah, that's close enough.
Is it the
Fallen
Lost
Kingdom?
Kingdom?
I'm more excited for Jurassic
Fallen Kingdom.
World
Atlantis.
Dominion Blast than Dominion Attack.
Aqualad. Come get wet.
Wow, we all got Tourette's.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait to clip that and just run it back.
Speaking of Warner Brothers,
Wow, is that
We
what you
got-
caught out of
we
that?
got to talk about.
That's what we were talking about.
I don't know.
That's what the script said.
Gonna mention. Yeah, it's trying to get on point, but
Follow-
that doesn't ever
Following the
work.
script.
Yeah, we're just following the
script.
I love you. I'm just kidding.
Will Smith
How?
and Ezra Miller seem to have both had projects in development. For Will Smith Ezra Miller has the Flash film that's going to be out.
Did
later
he?
this year.
Or does he?
Will Smith has a solo project
Can you stop?
that has been in development for Warner that they seemingly put pause on.
Oh, I like that. Did anybody else catch that?
Put pause on.
Will Smith
Pause.
is going to make a solo
It.
Deadshot film,
Was.
and they're not going to be developing this movie anymore because of certain situations
Right.
Right.
and reactions.
The situation from the Jersey Shore has been recast as Deadshot.
Nice. Oh.
What?
That's the weirdest crossover ever, bro. What?
Just like Downton Abbey and Batman.
dude.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I think Snoozy's in it too, or whatever her name is. Woozle? What's her name?
Woozle?
I don't know the
Snook-
characters from
Snooki.
Jersey Shore.
No,
I
I've never
watched
seen Jersey
every
Shore.
episode of Jersey Shore.
Man
never
said
seen-
snoozy.
Whatever her name is, Snoozle? What's her name?
Snooky.
It's
That's
Snoozle.
it. That's it.
Snooki.
She's the little orange woman.
She is the little
She's the
orange
Oompa Loompa.
woman.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Wow.
This
Okay.
is what we've come down to, guys.
So getting back to the point, which I forgot what it was, the Ezra Miller
Yes.
being in hot water, they are going to
Is that what it's called?
hold off on developing any further projects with him. They're slowing the Flash. Should they be recasting the Flash, Sonny?
I think. Oh, that one
That was
works.
better.
No, that one works.
Help.
We talked about this last time. I think this dude is out of whack. He needs some help. It's clearly like you're acting crazy, bro. Like,
So
Yeah.
at this point, I want what All in the Game has just said to happen. I have not watched any of the Flash show. I don't have any opinion on Grant Gustin, but people seem to love him.
bro.
And All in the Game said Ezra Miller mysteriously turns into Grant Gustin by the end of the Flash movie. I'd be okay with that.
Literally, yo, good call. Because if that happened on some kind of weird multiverse something and they needed to cut something out because he's acting crazy, that dude is really cool. He's a good Flash. The show
And a
was
good person, it seems like.
yeah, no, the show was a little happy-go-lucky for a little while, and it kind of got stretched out CW wise. He's a good Flash. He's a good actor. I think that it would fit.
They're making another season of The Flash, aren't they?
I think they're on like season 9 or 10. Like it's crazy.
I've never heard, like, people got tons of complaints about that show. Never have I heard
It's not
anyone
him.
be
About
And it
him.
isn't.
It's
It
not
isn't him.
Yeah.
No.
It's never him.
Yeah.
And I think he's an awesome Flash. And what you see, how you see him build through becoming the Flash is awesome. And you really get connected to like this character. This Ezra Miller dude isn't like likable.
Well,
You
like
know?
the Make-A-Wish Foundation doesn't get Ezra Miller to put on the Flash
They get
costume.
Grant, what's his name? Grant
Grant
Gustin?
Gustin.
Yeah, they get him. So I just think that's like not the biggest point,
I
but
just,
like
I just see like Ezra
No,
Miller
it's
just
a good
like
point,
showing
yeah.
up like
But you already have your
You know,
built-in
different
audience with your CW audience. You already have that built-in audience.
I think that would be
and
really
that would
cool.
be kind of like a seamless transition
It really would
to
be.
have him involved in this.
It would be
Yeah.
really cool because they already did. What's his crazy self was in the CW. That one episode they did the Flash crossover.
Oh yeah, he was.
Ezra Miller
in the
was like,
show.
Oh, he
Right.
was.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did an episode where they stood in front of each other and they were like, oh, like talking about the difference of their suits.
When I like Spider-Man. and
They
stuff.
kind of did the thing,
Okay.
and
Yes.
then he disappears and he's like, oh, it's a multiverse. So I think that might have some kind of connection. But man,
There's a
kick
way
him
for-
out, man. He's
There's a way
crazy.
for him to do it.
most of
Yeah.
the CW like main characters, like the actress that plays like Arrow,
Stephen Amell,
amazing.
it's cool.
You know, it's the actress that plays like Supergirl.
I don't know her
or,
name,
like,
but she's cool.
She's great. Like it seems like all of
Melissa,
these front runners,
hot girl. I don't know her name.
whatever, yeah, all these like front runners for all the CW shows, like they pick
that's her
good
name.
people.
Melissa
No,
hot
they
girl.
did.
And then the supporting cast is kind of what like I think drags the CW shows like down a little bit
Yeah.
because they're like, all right, we got the main person, we can just kind of throw other people at it and see what sticks.
Yeah.
So like, why not just like reward the guy who's been playing the Flash for 9 years now
Has it
and
been
be like,
that long? That's wild.
and be
9
like,
seasons,
and be
dude.
like, hey, you can be in the movie. You're the Flash.
Right.
Like they don't even need him to be.
and we're in a
the-
time where we can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even he needs to be the DCU's Flash,
But why not?
but he can help.
Yeah.
You know,
At this
or
point,
why
He
not?
could
Yeah.
definitely
At
help.
this point, I'm sure there's a meeting going around like, yo, how we get this man out of here? Like, how do we
Well, and they
switch?
literally had a meeting that was like, yeah, we got to put all his stuff on pause.
Literally.
'cause,
Because this man crazy.
he's going out of his mind. and
He's
we
gonna
can't-
be in the
new
Harry Potter.
Yeah, that comes out in like a
Fantastic
week,
Beast,
though. That's a little,
Yeah, but that was like that's old school. Like they can't do nothing about
The
that.
Secrets of the
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets of Bumble.
Dumbo.
But what do you always call him?
Bumbledore.
Yeah,
Bumbledore.
Bumbledore.
The Secrets of the Beast.
It
or
could
whatever it's
also
called.
just be with the Flash. Like maybe he doesn't want to, sign a contract for X amount of movies. I wonder if there
But
was a conversation with him at some point. They're like, hey, do you want to do the show and movies? And he's like, I just want to do the show. And I
But
get-
then,
and that,
but
you
then
know,
you'd have
he's only
you'd
human.
have a lighter work schedule if you're just doing the movie. And they say
Right.
when
That's
this
true,
season
yeah.
ends, we want you to be the Flash.
Well, I've kept up with the show. There's like Wally West and like there's literally every single Flash family character is in the Flash now.
Right.
So it'd be
He's Barry, right?
he's Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be really seamless to kind of just be like, okay, like you're kind of moving over and boom, you do your movie thing, Wally West or whoever needs to take over, and like you successfully hold this movie down.
But the CW show, I mean, it's gonna have this season. Like, it's not like it's gonna end in a
No.
week or so. But like, I doubt they're gonna go past 10 seasons of the
You
show.
know what?
They're gonna start
Arrow did 9 or 10 and they stopped.
right. So they're gonna finally like once they condense it. I'm just saying, as this guy, the Grant Gufferson,
Gustin.
Gustin,
Yes, Gufferson.
Gufferson.
Grant Orphis.
Do you, like I don't know if he
Jamal.
would want to play the same character for more than 10 years. You know what I mean? It would be cool. It would be really awesome, and I would like him more than Ezra Miller. But I just don't know
think at
how
any
much
point,
of like a fever dream it is to
anybody
be like, hey, you want to keep on being the Flash until you're
So do we have an
Old and stuff?
opportunity with these DCEU movies to move past Barry Allen and do Wally West?
yeah.
I think that's
Sure.
if not Gustin as Allen, the next move is develop Wally West, who is a character that people my age have a lot of love for because he was the Flash at that time.
Yo,
similar
and
to
this man's
Kyle
faster
Rayner.
than Barry
he's
Allen.
faster, yeah.
He's the fastest Flash. It's canon. He is the
It's-
fastest of all of them.
Facts.
There's like they're running from
He's
death
light-skinned. He got a
in,
little fade.
I believe it's Final Crisis that they're running
Right.
from death, and Barry is like, "You gotta go, son." And it happens just a bunch of times where Barry's like, "You gotta go do this, Wally, because I am just not that fast."
Yeah.
But I love him. He's like my favorite Flash. He's my Flash. He's the one I read
Same.
the
Well,
stuff.
I mean, that's kind of like their loophole to get out of
That
having
might be-
Ezra
yeah.
Miller
That might be the
playing
move.
Barry Allen is to just use the next Flash character
Yeah, he
just-
like
and
breaks
make
his
him the
ankle.
Flash.
Breaks his ankle, can't run.
And you don't even
then
have to do the Grant Gustin thing if he's not interested. You just bring in another
bring in
young
another
actor,
Flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
bring in
I-
a Warner guy, a Timothy Chalamet,
I
or
would be
somebody
with
like
that.
that.
Oh.
not that he'd want to do it. I'm just
no,
saying.
but I
Don't
get
do
you.
that.
Someone in that vein.
yeah.
Nah, I would say if Timothy
We
Chalamet.
can't cast him for everything.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He's great.
No.
But he's a Warner guy.
Yeah.
I think my personal, if we got like another Spider-Man movie and he was the new Hobgoblin.
That'd be cool.
I think there's cooler stuff for him.
So
to
we
do.
are gonna cast him for everything.
I mean, I'm just saying
All right.
though, like, cause I'm like,
with it.
you know, he'd be a really good Nightwing.
Sure. Yeah, you would.
That's the one I'm.
And then I'm
on.
like, you know, but he's just like the guy right now.
Most
You know?
things you suggest, I'm really not going to shoot down.
I'm gonna text him
We are
later.
going to take this week to find out what exactly the Aquaman sequel is called. And some of us are going to go and watch Morbius, I think. Maybe we're going to watch Morbius.
It's
Sonic
Aquaman
2.
and the Lost
Sonic 2.
Kingdom.
That's
Aquaman and the Lost
That's
Kingdom.
it. Okay.
Oh,
It was
That's-
Lost Kingdom.
That's
I
what it was
want
called.
to-
That's what it was
It's
called.
two
I was
movies
right.
in one.
Everyone to know that I. knew
Sometimes
that
I get it
was
right.
the name.
Wow.
not too excited for that one, man.
Aquaman.
Aquaman?
You're not excited for Aquaman or Aquaman?
Will
No, I
Ocean,
caught that one, man.
will Ocean Master be back?
Probably.
That's all that matters.
Patrick.
Stewart?
Wilson. Is that his name?
Patrick Wilson.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny, what do you got?
I love you guys.
Oh, it's nice.
Oh, that was so.
That was just, like,
that was
right
just
off,
off the top.
you know?
Yeah.
That was Variant. Tell us something good.
Nova.
It's nice outside. Not Nova.
Sorry.
Don't ruin my day. I had such a
yeah,
good
yeah,
week.
Yeah, yeah, something
I was
going
not.
on.
bad.
That's the reason I wasn't here last week. I was still fuming over Nova.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He needed a Nova
thank you.
recovery week.
Yeah, Nova break.
Nova.
No Nova. Paul, how can they be social with us?
They can be social with us at Into the West Comics on Instagram and at Into_Comics on Twitter. And also, if you haven't, there is a best clips of March video up on the channel right now. It's like you see how we just act like idiots every once in a while. Well, that video is just us acting
don't
like
do that.
idiots for 12 minutes straight.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's fun. It's
Share it with a
not an
friend.
hour long. If you're like, man, I really want to watch, but I can't because it's an hour long and I don't always have time to be on YouTube for that long. We got a 12-minute little special for you. It'll be coming every month. Go check that out. And just thanks for being here, guys. All in the game. Caden, Eddie, everyone who is lighting the chat up today. Thank you for being here.
Y'all are awesome.
Couple shout outs really quick. Cameron got a radio gig.
Hey, he was here too. Nice.
He's,
Yeah.
he's moving to New York.
Nice.
He got a full-time
Wow.
radio gig.
That's awesome.
Congratulations
Deserves
to
it.
Cam Coates.
Congratulations,
our guy.
brother.
And it's my sister's birthday today.
Happy
birthday
We
to
got-
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, wow. She's going to love that.
Happy birthday to you.
That's amazing. Make sure you add us to your pull box if you haven't done so already. Go read some comics. Go watch Moon Knight. And what else should I tell them to do?
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Hey.
Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, brush your hair.
I hate you. It's my least favorite thing to
Very.
say.
Go brush your hair. Wow.